Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going today? I'm the Digital Ham. In this video, I'm going to be covering the A.R.T Tube MP. This is a mic preamp, and if you're in the market for one of these, there's some things I want to go over really quickly that will help you make a better decision when you're doing your purchasing. So this is a tube amp, meaning that it actually has an actual tube in it that warms up, that gives a little bit of tone to your recording into your microphone. Now this is nothing that's earth shattering as far as the tone goes. It's going to add a little bit, but not anything crazy. Now there's a lot of misconceptions on what a mic preamp will do for you, and I want to cover those bases really quickly. If you're looking for a tube amp or a preamp for a microphone, I want you guys to realize that it's not going to change your sound dramatically. What it's going to do is it's going to give a signal boost to your actual signal, but it is not going to. It's not a filter. What it does is it takes the bass level of your microphone when it's powered with 48 volts, and it's just going to amplify that signal. Now, the downside of having a mic preamp is if you have a ground hum, if you have a very loud interface, if you have a very loud preamps on your interface or your mixer, if you have a loud mic, and when I say loud mic, I mean self noise. I mean, all microphones have a self noise, but when you get up in the higher range of your pricing as far as those microphones go, you will see a lower dB, meaning it will be quieter than a lot of these cheap microphones. So I'll give you an example. The newer NW800 is the microphone that I generally use in my videos, and you will see, given the fact that it's bright orange. Now this microphone has a very high self noise, and it just has a hiss in there that it's hard for you to tailor that out of the equation without fixing the problem, which is the microphone. Now when you step it up in quality and price and get yourself a more expensive microphone, then you're probably going to see that issue kind of subside, and you'll get to the paces where you can turn up your preamp, keep your gain down on your actual interface and your mixer, and you'll probably get a cleaner, smoother, quieter recording. Now I've fidgeted with this one a little bit, and let's go over with the buttons of what this thing does now that we've clarified some of the misnomers of mic preamps. So on the left hand side is our input. That's how much of the drive of the sound of the tube that we're putting in there. So we're using that tube to kind of condition the sound of the microphone a little bit. The first button we have here is a 20 dB gain. Now, if you're using a dynamic microphone, most dynamic microphones require a ton of gain, just because they're just not the loudest microphones there are. And for that reason, this 20 plus gain is a perfect thing. You hit this, and now it boosts your gain really high up without having to crank the knobs down, or up, I should say. The second button is actually going to be a plus 48 volts. So this is really cool because it gives you the ability to have a mic preamp and supply power to the mic itself through phantom power, and that's what this button does. The next thing is a phase reverse. Now this is a little hard to explain because I'm not really 100% sure of what this does as a whole, but from what I'm understanding, it is if you're running two microphones, what will happen is sometimes they can get in phase, and if you reverse that phase, when you get into phase, you get all kinds of interference and stuff like that. Due to, I guess, their wavelength that they're on. I'm not really 100% sure, but this will change it, and it will actually make it easier for you to have two microphones to keep them separated so they don't start interfering with each other. The second is an OPL button. And I'm going to try to remember what exactly that stands for, but in a simple form and simple explanation, this pretty much will keep your system, your mic, all of your components, your electronic components, from, if you went really heavy on your on, say, screaming into the microphone or whatever, it protects it from overcharging the microphone and blowing your microphone, from what I can understand. The second knob here is for the output. Now, so I put in how much of the tube I want from the first one, which is the input. The second one is how much I want to go into the final mix, the whole thing, how much the total volume is that I want. On the back side of it, you're going to notice that it has 2 1/4" and 2 XLR. Now, this will only take one of each. So it's going to take a 3.5, or excuse me, a 1/4", or it's going to take an XLR. These are just the outs, so ins, outs. It's a very simple thing to hook up. Now, I'll tell you this. Dialing it in is a little different, especially if you're changing between microphones. Each microphone is going to have a difference in sound quality, and you're going to have to kind of dial it in depending on what microphone you're using at that time. But as for me, it's a very simple, hooked it up. Now, I have some bizarre statements here. I get a noise from this that I do not get in any of my other chain of effects and a chain of equipment that is introduced by this. Now, it sounds like a 60 hertz hum, but I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. I can't poo-poo the entire product just because the fact that this happens for me every once in a while. And it might be as simple as this tube needs time to heat up, because it seems like when it's been on for a while, I don't hear it as much. And sometimes I don't hear it at all. And I can really get my audio completely quiet, or as close as I like. With this microphone, it's going to be really hard to get to where I prefer to sound, just because it's a cheap microphone, and as much as I love it, and it's paid its dues and it's done its thing, it is now going to be replaced by another microphone, another XLR that I'm going to be replacing it with. So just to give you guys a heads up of how this would work, okay? You can put this in line as far as your microphone runs into this. You power the microphone with the 48 volts. This goes then into your mixer. Your mixer then goes into your interface into computer. You can change up how that works though. You can go mic to, well, actually, in all essence, no. You really want this to be the first in line. You want this to be mic, this, then your mixer, then your interface. That's the best way. I have hooked it up before in the back, because as long as it's amplifying it somewhere in that line, it should be okay. But I think, in my honest opinion, you want it clean audio and boosted just fine coming into your interface and coming into your mixer. So guys, that is my review on the Tube MP by A.R.T. And if you're wondering, A.R.T. is an actual acronym. It stands for Advanced Research and Technology, or Applied Research and Technology, excuse me. It goes for about $35. You can find them brand new on certain sites. I'd say Amazon, you could find it for about 40, pushing 45. I'm going to put a link in the description for this specific brand and specific product in the description below for Amazon. But if you guys are interested in it, I think that it's a crucial thing because it's going to cause all of your other your mixer and your interface and all those other pieces of equipment to not have to run heavy and run it hot. So I think altogether it's a great product. I I love what it does for me because I don't get a lot of hiss and a lot of extra crap in my sound. Just because my audio chain is pretty clean. There is room for improvement, and that is coming. But overall, guys, I'd give it, you know, a good thumbs up. I think it's a great product, and I think you guys should check it out. If you do so, please make sure that you give me a thumbs up, or if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, leave them in the comment section below. As always, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell for notifications.